Okay, so I've just been kind of adding more layers, and that's what I'm left with. I also added some kind of fresh herbs that I foraged earlier today, some gorse flowers and some sorrel and some plantain, along with the other herbs. And I've just kind of stacked them up, layered them up. It's probably worth saying that you can pretty much just do fresh or dried herbs. Doesn't really matter, I think it works with both. This is the vinegar that I'm using. It's with the mother, so that's what I was talking about earlier, with organic kind of natural vinegars is made with the mother. So I'm just going to cover all of the herbs with this vinegar, and I can sort of poke it down a bit, make sure everything is nicely mixed, and it looks a little bit swampy. But what I'm going to do is now just cover that and store it in the fridge. You can store it for about a month or a week, it doesn't really matter. I thought I'd show you a couple of examples of other vinegar bitters that I have on the go. So this one is one that I made around Christmas, which is like 3 months ago now, so I've probably strained that off right now. But it's got orange peel and rosemary and ginger, juniper berries, and you know, it's probably very well infused by now. This is another one that I made more recently, which is made with, it's a kind of women's menstrual cramp blend. So it's got chamomile, calendula, cramp bark, put some burdock in here, and the reddish appearance is from hibiscus. So I'm going to give you the recipe for that one later. So yeah, so I think maybe I'll just do that now as I tell you the recipe. So I'm going to strain this women's bitters here. Oh, that's tightly shut. Sorry, it's just having a little trouble with opening this, but I managed to with a knife. Ooh, that is pungent. Okay, I'm just going to pour this through a sieve into a kind of other pouring jug. Oh, that's such a nice colour. If you're doing bigger quantities, you can get these kind of miniature wine presses off the internet, and they're quite good, so that when you have this going on in your sieve, you can really press down on it. I've lent mine to a friend, but I'm just going to do it by pressing on the top with a spoon or another little mini sieve, as I'm doing. And then you have your bitters, so you can kind of, I'll just pop this over here. Yeah, you can have a look at that. It's a beautiful colour, this one. So that's the women's reproductive health bitters. I'm just going to try some because I'm excited about this. I've got some water with lime juice over here. And this is how I take my bitters pretty much. I just have a glass of water, or even fizzy water if you're feeling fancy. And then I would put like maybe a teaspoonful inside. That's a beautiful colour. Okay, let's taste. So good. I really love the bitter taste. What I have in here is also a little bit of elderflower cordial. So you've got a sweet taste going on, you've got a sour taste going on from the lime, and you have bitter. So you've got like 3 out of the 6 tastes going on. That's really good. Okay, so I think I've told you pretty much everything that I wanted to say, but there's just a few more things. Bitters are not just for humans. One of my favourite herbalists, Juliette de Baraclay-Levy, talks, she became quite famous for her work with animals as a herbalist, and so I could recommend her books, The Complete Herbal Book of the Dog and Herbal Handbook for Farm and Stable, and you know, I'm sure that she would talk about bitters for animal use, but she mentions in her book common herbs for natural health, using bitter plants in the garden. So you use the dried bitter plants powdered up, and you'd sprinkle those around your herbal garden, around even plants, cultivated plants in your garden, and they deter pests. So similar in the way that wild plants use those bitter principles to deter pests, you can recreate that in your garden, and it will, cause your plants to be less damaged by pests, insects, whatever. In terms of recipes, I really want to share, and I will put this in the comments, this amazing recipe from the region that my mum's from in Italy, of a radicchio risotto, which is a really good way of getting bitters in your food, and it's very tasty, good way to introduce that bitter taste into your diet. Then I will give you 2 recipes now. One is for the women's menstrual relief bitters. So I'm not going to give you specific amounts because that's not really how I roll, but you guys saw what I just did, and so just go with whatever whatever amounts that you have. The only rules being, the more strong herbs, which I will say when I say them out loud, you need less of them. So, and they're also more expensive, so just, go easy on those ones. And yeah, just remember to cut everything up nice and fine before you pour over the vinegar, and then pop it in the fridge and just keep an eye on it. And a few weeks later, you can enjoy creation. Okay, so the first one, women's menstrual relief bitters. Calendula flowers, so that's also called marigold flowers, chamomile flowers, and hibiscus flowers. Aloe vera gel, so that's the inner gloopy stuff in the leaf. Ginger, that's nice and very finely cut or pounded. Cramp bark, which you can get in health food stores or online. Cover the herbs with apple cider vinegar, and then leave them to steep for a week to a month, or even 3 months if you're lazy like me. And then, once they're done steeping, you can strain off the herbs. You can compost those herbs, and then bottle them up, label them with the contents and the date. In order for that to be a medicinal thing, you need to take it every day. So take 1 teaspoon with a drink. You can do that 2-3 times a day with room temperature water, or even slightly warm water if you wanted to, but it's a bit weird with bitter taste for some people, and the apple cider vinegar warm is, I'm not that into it, but maybe you will be. Okay, and then the second recipe I'm going to offer is a everyday digestive bitters. So if you are not a woman with menstrual cramps, maybe this is your into the world of digestive bitters. You can use, all of these herbs or just some of them, it doesn't really matter. These are just some ideas for you to get started with. So here I've included calendula flowers, marigold, which is a really good anti-inflammatory of the digestive tract. Similarly, chamomile is really soothing for the digestive tract. Ginger, fresh ginger I would use, but you can also use powdered dry ginger. Lemon balm or melissa, which is again very soothing for the digestive tract. Dandelion leaf or root, artichoke leaf, now this is getting a bit more the bitters, and gentian, which is that, I think I used all of it, but the one that I showed you earlier, and some orange peel, which has been really finely chopped up. Then you could even put things like mint into this. I think it would taste really nice. Cover the herbs with the apple cider vinegar, and once again leave them to steep for a week to a month in your fridge, or if you live in a cold country, you can also leave it out. Strain it off then when it's done, bottle it, label it, and consume as you will. So that's all from me. I think that's my 2 cents on bitters. I really hope it was useful, and that that this brings bitters into the lives of many people, because it is great. It's really beneficial. It is so good for your digestion, your skin, your mood even. I feel like bitters is so good for my mood, and your gut, keeping you healthy and happy. So yeah, if you have any questions at all, just pop them in the comments below this video and I'll try my best to answer them. All right, bye.